My name's Catherine Jones. I'm the Knowledge Exchange Fellow for CREME and the Propel Hub, and my role is basically to support the exchange of knowledge and dissemination of findings from the research from CREME and our practitioner partners to a wider audience academically and into communities. Practitioner partners we're currently working with are ACH, Punch Records, SkillsLink and Citizens UK.
So Citizens UK is the home of community organising in the country. We're a registered charity. Our headquarters are in East London, and we're in 15 towns and cities. So in each town and city there is what's called an alliance of faith, education, union, community, business and institutions. And Birmingham is one of the oldest alliances. It's approaching nearly 10 years old. We're based here in the lovely St Mary's Convent in Lascelles on Hunters Road, and our mission is to support people to act in public life, participate in local democracy, and to really have a say and be able to make change happen on things that matter to them. Myself and Mondo were really talking about the work that he does with ethnic minority businesses, and he was really interested in community organising. And we actually met after Citizens UK held a big event, an assembly as we call it, with 500 people at the university. And it included folks from all walks of life, not just organisations but individuals from communities around businesses. So we were really interested in talking about how community organising might be able to support institutions, agencies particularly, in improving their business support. So the communities that we work with, the retailers, the businesses that are in our communities, they're from different backgrounds, ethnic minority, migrant community backgrounds, and they don't tend to be the folks who have access to the best support. And Mondo's conversation with myself was, can community organising be a really good tool to change that?
So the Growth Hub's been around for 5 years. It's one of 38 across the country, and we deliver support to SMEs, small businesses. And it's our job to help them unlock their barriers to growth and thereby grow our local economy. Well, it's been an incredibly pressurised and difficult in many ways 18 months because the Growth Hub team, as they support businesses, been on the front line of the pandemic crisis. So we've been taking businesses through their journey of COVID, through Brexit, to probably the greatest business shocks that have happened in generations.
Well, I've been with ACH since its early days. We started off as a community organisation, really just providing housing for refugees. Nowadays, we're aiming to be one of the leading specialists in the UK around refugee integration. My role in that is to actually come up with ideas for change. So my job is to actually look at the systems that are in place around refugees, what's been built historically for them, and look at the failures, look at the strong points of anything that's in existence, and create new ways of working. So what I've been doing within ACH is actually creating really good examples of how to do work well with refugees. So we're trying to influence policy by actually providing solid worked examples. The work with CREME actually goes back quite a way, but even the inspiration for it goes back further. First met with Fred, our chief exec, through another organisation where we were looking at providing additional education support for newly arrived refugees. And from that, we knew that we actually had to up our game. So when we did the work that established ACH as a housing association, started to look at actually how we could grow it to properly make a difference. So our initial project was focused around, at that time, it was a university looking to gain access into the community. So we had our main offices in Bristol, but we'd started our business started new offices in Birmingham. So through that, we were able to provide CREME with access into small businesses in the community. And it's that's sort of actually cemented ACH's role as a bridge between the mainstream and the communities, and that sits as a core bit of our work, right to this day. And from that work with CREME, what we've developed is rather than just being like the community access point, is we developed as a research practitioner organisation, so we actually have our own original thought that feeds into CREME just as much as CREME's original thought feeds into the work that we're doing, so it's become more and more a mutually beneficial partnership.
SkillsLink is a training organisation that works primarily with the Bangladeshi catering sector, the restaurants. We've been around for about 15 years now, and we work with Bangladeshi restaurants on skills development such as food hygiene, health and safety, fire safety training, and how we can develop the skills within the sector. The Bangladeshi catering sector has been established for over 60 years, and it's been the backbone of the Bangladeshi community in the UK. But in the last 15-20 years, there's been a huge issue around skill shortages because people from second and third generation of people aren't going into the sector, so the sector has been really struggling. And the businesses themselves don't really know how to address the issue. How do you sustain these businesses? So about 3 years ago, myself and a colleague approached Monda from CREME to look at if we can do some research into the Bangladeshi catering sector and look at how we can keep this sector going, strong for the next 50 years.
My name is Amatal, I'm the director of Punch. We are an arts and music organisation based in the cultural creative quarter in Digbeth in Birmingham, and we do all sorts of stuff around arts, people and place. So we run festivals, we do events, we do all sorts of touring, and then quite a lot of training and development for young artists who want to enter the cultural and creative industries. So it's a hodgepodge of loads of different things, but art, music, culture and creativity are the key drivers. So our collaboration with CREME began many moons ago. I met Mondaram in Leicester, and we've just built up a relationship when CREME moved to Aston University. What we were very interested in was their ability to be able to take students and place them onto particular courses. And when I say students, I don't mean traditional students who are 18. I'm talking about creative entrepreneurs and really, I suppose, fill in some of the gaps that they don't have.
Working with our partners, I produce fortnightly blogs, and all the members of our team get involved in those as well. And those blogs are a voice for our partners to let people know what's going on, what's important to them at the time, what difficulties they're facing, for example. And we share those amongst the whole of the Propel Hub as well. They go out to a wider audience. They're on our website. We promote them for our social media. So the information that our partners want to get out about what's happening to them and what's important is going out to a much wider audience than they'd be able to do on their own.
So the long-standing project we've worked with with CREME is the Business Leadership Project, which looked at supporting businesses on 3 high streets in the city, LaSalle Road, Villa Road, Coventry Road and Stratford Road, working with some 60 business owners. That taught us a lot about how community organising can work and how our tools will be able to get business owners to think a lot more about help and support for their high street. Very recently, we've been working on a project called Productivity from Below, which looks at retailers on in Los Angeles and now other high streets on what do they understand as productivity, because the argument tends to be if you're a big business or you're interested in growth, you're more productive than a small business which might be family run, which might be just focused on that kind of locality. And so that's an amazing piece of research, an amazing project with CREME. And also we're delighted to have a PhD student at Aston University join us for exploring this model of community organising that we've been doing. And that the role of that person is amazing, because we've taken all of those businesses we worked with over the last number of years and entrepreneurs, and we've set up something called the Business Leadership Group. So they take charge on their agenda on what things matter to them.
Professor Mondaram, who I know is a key figure in the centre, threw out the challenge to me and the LEP to say, what are we doing around inclusive business growth? And to say that his kind of door was open if we wanted to talk about what we wanted to do. And I said that I had a personal commitment to it, but I also professionally believed that if we did not drive inclusive economic growth through the Growth Hub, then we were failing in our duty, because actually the makeup of Greater Birmingham is such that if we're not reaching all of the communities here, then we're not doing our job properly. Well, I think there's been kind of two ways generally we've interacted with CREME. And the first is just as an asset, so as a store of information and expertise. We've gone to CREME and said, well, how should we do this? You know, we want to engage with businesses in different communities, diverse communities. How do we do it? What's the best way of doing it? What channels do we need to approach? What different methods do we need to adopt to make sure that the message gets out there, that there's no cost impartial business advice for them? And that's been great, and it's wonderful to know that you can pick up the phone to an international expert and they'll happily take your call and give you advice.
The partnership with CREME is vital, because they have the academic excellence and reputation to help the Bangladeshi catering sector. Without that academic excellence, any research won't be valid. So the partnership with CREME, I think, is crucial in making sure that the issues within the Bangladeshi catering sector are being addressed, both by the public sector and by the catering sector itself.
We realised that we needed to do something collectively together, and we did a call out to probably around 30 creative entrepreneurs, who work across the art forms. Some are artists, some are makers, some are venue collaborators, and we said, look, do you want to be part of the P word? And it was a combination of training, some support and some commissioning. It's something we've been wanting to do for the last 10 years. We've just never had the partners in place, and I think this is where CREME's ability to be able to partner openly, authentically, and really listen to what creative entrepreneurs want.
So basically, through the Propel Hub, we run a series of events working with each of the 18 universities that are involved in the hub and the CIPD as a partner. We run a range of masterclasses, we run engagement hacks as well, which are very interesting, international research seminars, and webinars and podcasts on topics that we wish to cover as teams on all the projects that we're doing as well.
What excites me is the Business Leadership Group. So, these people who we supported in a previous project and continue to in a current one, with those businesses. And I'm excited about the collaboration of them coming together. I'm excited about, they came together during when, Black Lives Matter was big on the news and people talking about structural racism, and so I'm really excited about some of the door knocking they're already doing about, who gets contracts in this city, how can people get supported to be in the supply chains of big initiatives, whether they're HS2, whether they're Commonwealth Games or anything else. And I'm really excited about those group of people through the assistance of CREME and Citizens UK, really shaping conversations in a way that it's not just about academia or research, it's about tangible change.
It's brilliant. As I say, I've worked with CREME pretty much from the moment I came here, and sometimes you almost kind of take for granted the fact that you've got some of the world's leading experts right on your doorstep here, and we've done sort of experimental projects in Birmingham, which maybe hadn't been done before, and I think that, you know, we should be really proud of that. And I think that hopefully we've contributed to the knowledge and the expertise that CREME's got by, you know, working with businesses really on a very, very local basis. So hopefully it's a partnership that works for everyone.
It's working with CREME is a brilliant relationship. Yeah, they understand the business sector. They also, you know, bring the academic knowledge and skills into it. So it's a really good partnership that we've got in place. You know, they've been working with black and minority ethnic businesses for many years, and I would say they are probably the leading BAME researchers in the UK, or if not Europe.
CREME's got a unique position to do work across all those diverse communities, and so have we. There are only a handful of organisations that can cut across multiple layers of the diverse communities that we represent, anything from Ethiopian to Mirpuri. So I think if we're looking towards the future, you know, 2022, we've got the Commonwealth Games coming. I think we're in the city of Birmingham. We're nearly 50% diverse. They say we're going to be the first plural city in the UK. These are major positive attributes towards our city. So I see CREME's position in the city and our city in terms of drivers and cultural connectors only growing.